So if you saw my reading rush video, you will know that I mentioned that I was going to be doing a book haul, and I was waiting for the next set of books I got to arrive. Well, they've arrived and I'm ready to film a book haul, which now seems repetitive because you've already seen that in the title. Duh.
To be talking to you, Belladonna. Should have taken a break, not an Oxford comma. Take what I want when I wanna. And I want you.
I'm back again. So I have a lot of books. I think I have about 55 books. These are basically a combination of books I've been buying from I've been buying since April of this year all the way to July. So they're a lot. I'm going to try and make this as fast as possible because I want both of us to get out of this as soon as possible. So yeah, first on the list is The Rat on the Dawn by Renee Adie. Now this is a new cover, as you can see. It's quite sad for me because I actually had plans. I wanted the paperback, but I wanted that other paperback cover. I'm going to put a picture up somewhere here. That was what I was expecting to get, but I think that this is the new cover. I don't know how I feel about it right now, but let's just go on to what this book is about. This book is all about Shahrazad, who decides to take vengeance for a murdered friend by volunteering to become the Caliph's new bride. Now the Caliph Khalid has apparently been taking on a new bride every day and killed them by nighttime, but spinning tales, she's able to survive the next night, then the next after that, then the night after that, all because, you know, he wants to know more and finds herself falling in love with him in the process. This is definitely a retelling of the 1001 Nights. That's the Arabian Nights collection of Middle Eastern folktales. So I have been looking forward to reading it and I'm happy I got it. I also got the sequel, which is The Rose and the Dagger as well, and I can't wait to read both of them. Next book on the list is The Storm Crow by Colleen Josephson. Now this basically follows Princess Anthea, who has whose kingdom has been invaded, and apparently in their kingdom they were really famous for being crow riders. So yes, unlike a lot of fantasy books where we have dragons and griffins and wyverns, in this book they fly really mythical large ass crows, and unfortunately for our kingdom they are invaded. The crows are destroyed. This sends her into a deep depression because all her life she's dreamed of becoming a crow rider, but our elder sister who is attempting to run the kingdom and trying to put things together decides to arrange a marriage between her, that's Princess Anthea, and the son of the conquering king, in a way to foster peace. Now when it is that these arrangements are made, the two sisters discover a crow's egg and decide on hatching this plan that will bring about rebellion but also hatch the crow itself. So it sounds very, I love rebellion. I love the fact that we're seeing a new side of fantasy. It's not just dragons or wyverns, like they're flying crows, which is just badass. And also look at it. Look at how the first edition looks naked. It's just gorgeous. I had to get it. Plus, I have very good friends who've read it and said they really love it. So I can't wait to read it as well. The next book I got is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. Now this book follows Dimple and Rishi, of course, whereby Dimple's parents have been trying to match her with the ideal husband, but she's really pissed and she's totally and completely fed up with them. I'm really happy because she gets to go to this summer program for web developers and she thinks that her parents are finally listening to her and letting her pursue her dreams rather than find a husband, except for the fact that the web program that she's going for, her parents are kind of sent the next boy they want to match her up with, and that is Rishi. Rishi's own parents have convinced him because actually technically it's kind of easy to convince Rishi because Rishi is a romantic and he wants to go and he wants to fall in love with Dimple, and so both of them are over there doing their own thing. Dimple is convinced that, you know, she knows what she's doing, she's in charge of her life, nobody's meddling except for the fact that her parents kind of are. And I love that. It gives me a lot of Bollywood. Like this entire series of Sandhya Menon gives me Bollywood vibes, and I really love Bollywood movies. Like, love them since I was a kid, still love them as an adult. I am making no apologies for that. As a result of that, I got the other two books in the series as well. So we have From Twinkle with Love, whereby we follow Twinkle, whereby we follow Twinkle, who is an aspiring filmmaker and has a crush on Neil Roy for like forever. When she finally gets the chance to put her directorial skills to use, because Neil's twin brother Sahil actually does reach out to her and asks her to direct a midsummer arts program that they are doing, and she considers it a win because it also means that she'll get the chance to draw closer to her crush Neil, except for the fact that in the course of this entire film process she starts to fall in love with Sahil, and things get complicated because she believes that the mysterious notes she's been receiving from her secret admirer are from Neil, and it's all a question of Who is in her heart? Who is she in love with? Who does she see herself with? It's romantic, it's funny, it's cute. There's a lot of filmmaking in it. It's giving me a lot of Hey Jawani, Hi Diwani vibes. That's the movie with Deepika Padukone and Ranbir Kapoor. I really, really loved it. It was a lot of fun. I love that movie. I watch that movie religiously every year. I make no apologies for it. So maybe it's because of the filmmaker aspect of it, but I'm really, really looking forward to reading this book. And I also got the third book in the series, which is There's Something About Sweetie, and apparently I think she is connected to a character in When Dimple Met Rishi. I think Rishi. We follow Sweetie, who is basically tired of the fact that she's fat means that her family consider it like the absolute kiss of death. And they're always trying to overcompensate for the fact that she's fat. And she's like, you know what? She's going to kick off on the Sassy Sweetie project and basically live her best possible life, because she's an amazing track athlete. She has great singing in the shower abilities, and she's a very loyal friend. But she feels that the fact that she's fat, as her parents consistently thinking that she's somewhat lacking in some way, and totally and completely kicks against that. And you also have Aish Patel, who just got dumped by his girlfriend and whose parents are feeling very smug and tell him that, you know what, we know we can match you with a perfect girl, but for you to agree, you have to sign a contract, and you have to agree to take this girl to all these fun Indian places, like take her over to the temple to go pray, you know, the kind of things. And it's like, what the fuck? But he agrees. And it's like, what the hell? But he agrees. And then they find out that as they are going about this contract, they actually do find themselves drawing closer and finding connections that they never knew they had. It sounds really cute, really sweet, because there's a plus size character in this, and I'm here for that love. I am here for that representation. Thank you very much. Next, I got The Bone Witch by Runchu Peko, whereby we follow T, who is a necromancer. Yes, you heard that right. She's a necromancer. Like, I have this thing for necromancy. I love necromancy stories. I just really love it. I have a thing for skulls. I don't know if you can see it, but like, I collect skull t-shirts. Like, necromancy is just my jam. And we have T, who accidentally brings her brother back from the dead, and as a result of that has to face backlash because she exists in a society that believes that bone witches, that is witches who practice necromancy, are kind of evil and off, and they ostracized her, and she and her brother decide to leave their old town and go somewhere where T can get sufficiently trained, because war is brewing and she's going to apparently play a very important role in that war. It sounds amazing, it sounds magical, and most importantly, there are dead people coming back to life. Like, what is there not to love? So I got The Bone Witch, I got the second book in the series, that is The Art Forger, and I got the last book in the trilogy, that is The Shadow Glass. And like, it's necromancy. It makes me very happy. I can't wait to read it. Next up, I got Fake It Till You Break It by Genpi Ngien. Is it Ngien? I don't know. I'm so sorry if I just butchered the name. But it's by Genpi Ngien, which basically follows Mia and Jake, two teenagers who are about done with their mothers. You see, their mothers are best friends, and their mothers are convinced that Mia and Jake are perfect for each other, except for the fact that Mia and Jake do not like each other that way. And after it is that her mother drives yet another cute boy that expressed interest in Mia and Jake decide that, you know what, they should form a fake contract. Yes, you heard that right. A fake contract whereby they will pretend that they are dating just to get their parents off their back, and then later, you know what, separate and go find the love of their lives that are somewhere in the future. But you know what happens with fake contracts and fake dating shit? Love happens, because you can bet that they are going to fall for each other, and just that is a trope that really, really butters my biscuit. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book. After that, I got another Genpi Ngien book, and that is The Way to Game the Walk of Shame. I think this actually came before Fake It Till You Break It. I think so, yes. Basically, here we follow Taylor, who is she's this really studious, very academic-minded girl, and got this nickname of Ice Queen because of it. But one day she goes to this party, gets drunk, wakes up in bed the next morning next to this bad boy surfer, Even McKinley, and unfortunately that sets the rumor mill around school going, and she decides that, you know what, she has to recover her reputation rather than be yet another notch on the bad boy surfboard, because you know he's a surfer. She would rather be the girl that tames him, and so she enters a contract with him whereby they pretend to date. This is my second pretend to date book in this haul. Is that giving you an idea of how much I love this trope? Because I love this trope. Next, I got I Darken by Kirsten White, which all I needed to pick up this book was someone told me, I can't remember who, but someone told me that this was basically a story of Vlad the Impaler, but gender bent, in the sense that Vlad the Impaler is Leda, and she's ruthless, she's vicious, she wants to conquer, she wants to take back her homeland, and she would do it using the blood of the people that conquered her people. And I'm like, bloodthirsty, vicious, princess, gender bent story, like what is there not to love? So I picked it up. I also picked up the second book in the series, Bright We Burn, and I picked up the third book in the series, Now I Rise. I can't, like, this series sounds like it has my name on it, and I cannot wait to dive into it. And then I got Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. Like you can see, these are two gorgeous women of color right on that cover. Like, what is there not to love? In this book, I was told that basically this is Gilmore Girls, but if Paris and Rory had gotten back together. And I'll have you know that Paris and Rory were my OTP. My second OTP was Rory and Jess. Yes, I'm that girl. But my first OTP is Paris and Rory, and they did not get together, but they get together in this book, and it makes me very happy. In this book, we follow Sana, who is an aspiring filmmaker and is looking for, you know, the face of her senior project, except for the fact that the only person that is perfect for that role is Rachel, but she hates Rachel because, you see, during their first year in school, Rachel kind of asked Sana out, and Sana was convinced that Rachel was pranking her. But turns out that Rachel was not pranking her. So when Sana asks her if she would be the face of her film, Rachel says yes, because she still hasn't gotten over that crush. It sounds beautiful and perfect, and I cannot wait to read it. And next up, I got The Kiss Quotient by Ellen Wong. Now, I've heard marvelous, amazing, beautiful, fantastic things about this book. It's all about this woman, Stella. She's really into algorithms and basically makes a living off of it, you know, off of predicting consumer buying behavior, and she's making a whole lot of money, you know, with what she does, except for the fact that she has Asperger's syndrome, and she's not really had any real relationship in that way. And so she decided that the best way for her to gain that experience is to hire a professional. Enter Michael, a professional escort, who teaches her the many wonders and pleasures of kissing and sex in various ways. And apparently it's very erotic, very cool, very amazing. The rep apparently is also very nice. So I can't wait to read this book. I have a lot of friends who have this book on their favorite list from last year. I cannot wait to get to it. Next, I got this gorgeous book over here. I know it's stunning, isn't that pretty? It's Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and in this we follow a half kitsune, half human. Like, I have a thing for fox spirits in books, and kitsunes are a favorite. So we follow Yumeko, who was raised in think of it as a monastery, and when the monastery she was raised up in burns to the ground and all the priests are slain, she ends up fleeing with a very precious treasure in the monastery / temple, which is a part of an ancient scroll that apparently 1,000 years prior someone had used to summon a dragon that had basically granted a very terrible wish and had destroyed their country or continent, I'm not sure. And now she has one part of it. She's haunted on all sides, but along the way she meets Kage Tatsumi, who is a samurai who has been given the mission to recover the scroll, but he does not know that the scroll is with Yumeko. She's lying to him, but she's also using him to protect herself against all the forces that are after her. And it just sounds really, really cool. I love kitsune lore, and I also love Japanese. I love myth in general. Like, if you know me, you know how much I love myths generally. So I can't wait to read this book. I also can't wait to read Soul of the Sword, which is the second book in the I think it's going to be a trilogy, not sure, but this is the second book, and I can't wait to read both of them because also they're both really, really pretty. Next up is Traitors Kiss by Erin Beatty. Now this book was recommended to me by my very, very dear, amazing friend Sarah of Novel Serendipity, and she was like, you know what, Noria, you will love Sage. One, she is very smart, very impulsive, unwilling to conform to the status quo, always breaking the rules. She's just a badass and you will love her. And because of that, I picked up this. I picked up the book. I'm like, I trust your judgment. Also, you know the type of women I like to read about in books. So we follow Sage, who, like I said, refuses to get married and instead decides to apprentice with a matchmaker so that she can actually be matching girls who are willing to marry with soldiers that they want to marry. But what she's really doing is she's being a spy. And when she finds information that can lead to turmoil in her kingdom, she ends up signing up for way more than she can handle. And it just sounds amazing. Like, they're spies, they are women who are refusing to conform to the times. It fits a lot of things for me. So I got this, The Traitors Kiss. I got the second book in the series, which is The Traitors Ruin, and I got the third book in the series, which is The Traitors Kingdom. So I can't wait to read the entire trilogy. And you know what, I'm going to come screaming at you, Sarah. You can bet it, because girl, thank you for the recommendation. Next, I got Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. I read my very first Maureen Gu book last month, which I actually did enjoy, so I'm looking forward to this. Also because I'm a big fan of K-pop. I'm a VIP for life. I would always treasure Big Bang. Kwon Jin Young is always my bias. T.O.P is my second bias. That's just like, life is better with K-pop anyway. And in this, we follow Lucky, who is about to become the biggest K-pop star, but at the moment she's craving a hamburger and tired of a lot of restrictions that she has to face. Because trust me, if you know anything about K-pop, you know that trainees undergo like very strict lives, like leading to their debut, even after that. And so basically she's craving a hamburger and sneaks out and runs into Jack, who thinks she's kind of cute, thinks she's kind of familiar, and is out to do some sort of secret job. I have a feeling I know what the secret job is, and I just it's probably going to annoy me, but it has K-pop. I'm certain that there are a lot of references I would love and smile and like, and that is why I picked it up, and I cannot wait to read it. Next, I got American Panda by Gloria Chow. This follows May, who is 17-year-old, but is already a freshman at MIT. She has she has parents who strive for her to be the very best. So basically, she kind of skipped 3rd grade, and right now, while the rest of her classmates and the rest of her age mates are in high school, she's already in MIT on a fast track to becoming a doctor, and hopefully looking for her husband, who should be Taiwanese and in an Ivy League school. The only problem is that 1, she has a crush on her classmate who is definitely not Taiwanese. In fact, he is Japanese. 2, she hates germs. 3, she falls asleep in biology classes. So basically, all these dreams that her parents have for her, they are not dreams she wants, but she's terrified of questioning their hopes and dreams. But when she runs into her older brother, who was basically kicked out of the family for dating the wrong woman or the wrong kind of girl, she ends up questioning if really she wants to live this life of lies and deceit. And it just sounds like it's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait to read it. The next book I got is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. And apparently, I think this follows Kate and August. So Kate is a young girl who is on her way home, who wants to prove that she can be as ruthless as her father wants her to be. And you have August, who is basically not human, definitely a monster, in a city that is divided, and in a city where he's one of the 3 strongest monsters in said city. And their world is about to crumble, and only Kate and August can save it, because they are the only 2 people that can see both sides of the spectrum. And it sounds like it's going to be kind of scary, but also very, very good, and I cannot wait to read it. As such, I also picked up the second book in the duology, because I think it's a duology, Our Dark Duet. So keeping my fingers crossed that it's only 2 books, because if it's more than 2 books and Victoria Schwab and V.E. Schwab still hasn't written the 3rd book, I'm going to be very, very pissed. Just saying. Next is a book I picked up because it's the group book for the Monsterathon. For those that don't know, the Monsterathon is a readathon that is taking place in September. Yes, it's coming a month before October, whereby basically we do read about a lot of monsters. And I'm one of the co-hosts. Kate of Chapter K kindly asked me to be a co-host. I'm so thrilled. But basically, the group book is Unnatural Creatures, which are basically stories selected by Neil Gaiman. Now, I chose this one because it is a group book, but also because it says selected by Neil Gaiman. For those that don't know, Neil Gaiman is one of my favorite authors ever. I love him. I love his writing. I love his mind. I also love his taste in books. So knowing that these are actually stories he selected and they compiled everything into this volume makes me very happy. This book is going to be filled with lots of monsters, lots of mythical creatures, lots of mythical beings. It's probably going to scare the shit out of me, but the thought of that makes me very, very happy, and it's the reason why I now own it and I cannot wait to read it. The next book I got is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Yes, I'm one of those people that this is going to be my very first ever Rainbow Rowell novel. I have never read any other books. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I like it because I got this and I also have Carry On. So basically this follows Kath, who is a big Simon Snow fan, and I guess Simon Snow is a character from Carry On. So basically this is, I'm not sure if this is the prequel to Carry On, but they basically exist in the same world in the sense that Carry On is a fantasy story that exists in this book, which is a contemporary. So basically Kath is a big Simon Snow fan, and she is being a part of, the books have been a part of her life growing up since like forever. She is really active in the fandom. She's also very, very big. She also writes fan fiction, but now she's going into college. Her elder sister is like, it's time for them to grow up, you know, and she has to put away such things. And but see, going into college and growing up means that she has to put herself out there, and I guess that is basically what she tries to do in Fangirl, trying to put herself out there but also retaining a love for those things that you know, are such a big pivotal part of who she is. And yeah, the question is, can she survive college? Can she survive living on her own? Can she survive living this life that is only and totally hers? And that is a question that we seek to answer in Fangirl, and I cannot wait to read it. I also love the fact that it's sprayed edges. Like, I like to point out that I got this off a book outlet. Like, a lot of these books, I got some of them off of, you know, Amazon and stuff. I also got a lot of them off of book outlet, and this is gorgeous. The next book I got is Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali, whereby we follow Zainab, who one day decides to stand up to a bigoted teacher who has a thing against Muslim and likes to call all Muslims bad people. So basically she stands up to him and gets suspended due to the confrontation, and also our teacher decides that he's going to actually investigate all her activist friends. So to get away from all that bullshit, she travels to Doha to go visit her aunt, and while she's there decides that she's going to try to be this nicer version of herself. Like, she's going to try to dig deep within herself and find the nicer Zainab. It's making me laugh because I have been there, trust me, Zainab, and I'm hoping sincerely that she realizes. Anyway, I don't want to put my hope and expectations on how I want this story to. I want this story to just be its gorgeous, perfect self so that I can read it. But anyway, on her way, she runs into Adam, whose mom died recently, who is helping to take care of his sister, who's dealing with his grieving father, and who has recently been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, but is keeping it from his family because he does not want to give them any added burden. And these two unlikely people meet and fall in love, and the cover is gorgeous too. I can't wait to read this. It sounds perfect, and I'm so happy that I get to read it sometime soon. Next, I got The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. What can I say? I read this book about 4-5 years ago, and I wanted to own my copy, but I kept putting it off, and I just feel like this is the right time. Why? Because Call Down the Orc is coming out in November, so I decided I'm going to own everything. I'm going to do a big, massive reread and fall in love with this series all over again, because it's just, I don't know how to describe this series. Like, it's surreal, it's fantastical, but it also meanders a lot, and the writing, the language is beautiful, and the characters, you connect with the characters. Ronan Lynch is always going to own my heart. He would always be bae. So I miss the Anglo B boys. I can't wait to meet them once again on page. So of course I got The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, and finally The Raven King. So yeah, I got all 4 books in the series, and I am about ready to read. I'm about ready to read them all and get ready for Call Down the Hawk, because we're about that life and we know that that book is going to be good. Next, I got Deb Young by J. Christoph. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what this book is about. I bought Lifelike during my last haul and I still have not read it yet. I'll get to it sometime soon, but I've not read Lifelike yet, and I just know that I have a lot of friends whose opinion I trust, and they really love Lifelike. Plus there's this girl and there's this android, and they both try to save the world, and it's out of space, and it's written by J. Christoph, and that was the only reason I needed. Next, I got The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Tierdhala. I am very certain I murdered the name. I apologize, but this is a book I've had on my list, in my cart for quite a while, and I was very happy to get it. In this, we follow Esha, who is an assassin for the rebels, who are plotting to take down the ruthless General Otha, you know, who was responsible for a lot of things that the rebels lost when the royal coup happened. But she has to face off against Kunal, who turns out is the nephew of the hated general, and he has been raised to be a dutiful soldier and to basically do everything his uncle wants, and has also been kind of kept in a cage because his uncle does not want him really going outside and really thinking for himself and really seeing, you know, the plight and what is happening out there. And both of them come together and think that they are both in control and that they are, you know, pulling the wool over each other's eyes. But it turns out that neither of them is in control. There's someone else who is calling the shots, and they are basically pawns in this game. And like, I can't wait to read it. It sounds fantastic. It sounds amazing. It sounds brilliant. Yay! Then I got The Candle and the Flame by Nafisa Hazard. Firstly, look at this cover. Tell me that is not one of the most gorgeous covers you've ever seen. Like, that is stunning. Anyway, in this book, we follow Fatima, who lives in the city of Noor. She's one of 3 humans who live there. Turns out that earlier on, before the book starts, the city had been captured by the jinn, and the jinn had slaughtered the entire population, leaving only Fatima and 2 others as the remaining humans left. Now, Noor is ruled by the new Maharajan, but Fatima is protected by the Ifrits and their commander Zulfikar. But when one of the Ifrit dies and trouble brews, Fatima has to go forward into the unknown, into the city itself, and mingle with the Maharajan, with his sister, with Zulfikar and the jinn. Basically, all these issues that she had never before concerned herself with. It's a standalone, and I've heard really, really good things about it, so I can't wait to read it. And once again, please look at this cover. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't Fatima one of the most gorgeous women you've ever seen? Like, look at that. Next is a book I had on my anticipated reads of 2019 video. Like, if you saw that video, this book will not surprise you, and that is With the Fire on Eye by Elizabeth Azevedo, whereby we follow Emoni. She is a teenage mother who is trying to, you know, take care of both her daughter and her grandmother, but at the same time also pursue her dreams of being a chef, because that is who she is, that is what she wants to be. And it sounds like it's going to be a book filled with lots of recipes, lots of love. And how many books do you know portray teenage mothers in such a positive light? Like, there are not that many, and the fact that Elizabeth Azevedo is telling us the story and Emoni is such a badass, I can't wait to read this. I can't wait to fall in love with this. I've been looking forward to reading this book since last year, and now I finally have it in my hands, which, yes, thank the universe. Then I got I Wish You All the Best by Mason Diva. This I won in a giveaway hosted by the amazing Boston of Boston Reads Book. Like, I won this in a giveaway, in an Instagram giveaway that she held, and I was so happy. And now that I have it in my hands, I'm even more happy, because in this book, this was also one of my anticipated reads from last year. Like, this was in my video, y'all. You all know how much I was looking forward to this. Anyway, in this book, we follow Ben, who comes out as non-binary to their family, and their parents kick them out, and they move in with their sister and I think her husband, and of course they are kicked out, which means that they have to start school in a new place, and they are trying to keep their head, you know, above water, keep themselves away from the crowd, because they just want something simple and not stress-free. But in comes Nathan, who is charming and charismatic, and who takes them under his wings, and who wants them, you know, who's basically a very good friend. And then feelings come in and things get complicated, and it just sounds like it will be heartwarming and heartbreaking, and I cannot wait to read it. Plus, this is an own voices novel, because the writer Mason Diva is also non-binary, and like, I've been looking forward to reading this. I can't wait. Once again, thank you so much, Boston, for hosting the giveaway, and thank the universe that I won, because I've been wanting this book for such a long time. The next book I got, Don't Date Rosa Santos by Nina Moreno. Like, this looks very beachy and summery, and I love, and I can't wait to read it. But in this we follow Rosa, who apparently has a bad streak with the boys she dates, because the words around is that she's cursed. basically don't date her if you're a boy with a boat. The only thing about it though is that Rosa is she has this problem. Rosa is dealing with her own personal issues in the sense that she's torn both ways. She's torn between, you know, her abuela who has been raising her and her mother who flits in and out of her life. She's torn between staying and moving away for college. And while all these questions and decisions are running through her head, she runs into Alex Aquino, whose family technically kind of owns the marina, is a bad boy, and they just have this connection. And it sounds cute. It sounds really, really cute, and I can't wait to read it. The next book I got, Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. Firstly, look at that cover. Like, it actually looks like you have ground shattered glass all over the page, and here you have beauty isn't always pretty. But anyway, this book we follow Isabel, who is not the Cinderella in the fairy tale. No, she is actually the wicked stepsister who cuts off a toe so that her feet can fit into in Cinderella's glass slipper. But when her truth is found out, she's tossed out, and you know, she's reviewed for not being Cinderella. But at the same time, it's a conversation. But at the same time, it has her questioning herself, because every single time she's had to cut away a bit of herself in order to, you know, be sweeter and nicer and gentler and kinder, she ends up being more mean, more angry, more jealous, and it's a spin on the original fairy tale of Cinderella, which was really, really dark, way darker than the Disney version. So I'm really, really looking forward to reading this. I know I said I'm not a big fan of retellings, but I can't wait to give this a chance, because this just sounds like it's going to be my kind of jam. I can't wait to read it. Next, I got Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare and a host of other people. This is basically a collection of like the short stories / novellas she released, and I think they all center around Genco stairs. I've just only read the first book in the Mortal Instruments, that is City of Bones. So I have a long way to go, but I'm collecting all the books down so that I can always have them. I have all the books in the Shadowhunters world. This is the only one I don't have because this just came out, so I have bought it now and I cannot wait to eventually get to it. I'm reading them bit by bit. I have watched the show. I love the show. Don't come at me. I love the show. I'm going to read the books. You don't need to convince me that the books are better. I'm going to read the books. But I can love the show and also still read the books and love the books as well, if that's the case. So you don't need to sell it to me. I already own them, so I'm going to read them. But anyway, I can't wait to read this, and it looks really good. And look at Jem. Look at Jem. It looks cute with this silent brother hoodie thingy. Next, I got Queens of Geek by Jen Wild. The reason I heard that this book takes place in a convention, I think someone said that there's bisexual rep, and I'm just like, thank you, bless. So yeah, this takes place in a convention. It's all about geekdom. It's a love letter to geeks. That was all I needed to pick it up. I also heard that apparently the Charlie in the book just broke up with her boyfriend, and she's trying to pretend that she's a-okay. She's an aspiring actress. She's a vlogger, but she also finds out that the really, really super popular, super cool Alyssa Huntington, who she's had a crush on for like forever, might just like her back, and that just sounds amazing. And we also follow Taylor, who gets this chance to enter a fan contest for her favorite fandom and take this as an opportunity to finally not play it safe, you know. And it just sounds cool, and it's convention and it's geek, and I want to read it. I also got The Brightsiders, also by Jen Wild. This one, I love that tag. It just says don't mess with the girl. It just says don't mess with the girl with the purple lipstick, and I just love that. I love the cover as well. It's really gorgeous. Basically here we follow Emmy, whose band The Brightsiders. They seem to be on the up and up. They're getting great gigs. They're popular and all of that. But when a night of partying lands her in a hospital, she becomes the front page news of, you know, celebrity tabloid gossip and shit. But luckily she has a friend, she has a bandmate, especially a bandmate Alfie, who she starts to develop a thing for, and they have this relationship, and she knows it's a really, really bad idea, because even I can tell Emmy that the #1 rule is you do not date fellow bandmates. Like, that's one way to crash and burn. But it's fiction. Hopefully it ends happily and well, and once again this cover is gorgeous, so I can't wait to read it. I also got Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a book that is sweeping everywhere. Everybody's like, oh my god, we love this book. Noria, you gotta read this book. This book is perfect. This book is amazing. Your life will not be the same. And yeah, I finally got the book. I cannot wait to read it. We follow Alex, whose mother is the president of the United States, who basically has this hate type relationship. Like, he cannot stand Henry, who is the Prince of Wales, and basically after one of their fights goes really public and seems to be about to strain the relationship between the United States and Britain, they have to pretend to be friends. Like, once again, remember when I said I have a thing for fake relationship becoming real? Yeah, this one, they started as fake friends and then they become real friends and then they start to date, and I'm just like, it sounds perfect. I can't wait to read it. So enemies to fake friends to friends to lovers. Doesn't that sound like the most magical thing you've ever heard? Next, we have Nuckys Tans' Book of Luck and Fortune by Roselle Lim, whereby we follow Natalie, who returns home after her mother dies to discover that her mother had left her the restaurant, when a fortune teller basically tells her that she has to cook 3 recipes to help her struggling, the struggling neighbors around her, so that her grandmother's restaurant will succeed. Natalie is definitely not down for that, because one, she does believe that they abandoned her when she was growing up with her agoraphobic mother, but eventually, through the course of the book, she ends up discovering that what she thought all this while was not really the case, especially with regards to her neighbors. And it just sounds like it's going to be awesome and cute and filled with family and filled with lots of food and food recipes. And I better make sure that I have food constantly while reading this book, because something tells me I am going to be very hungry. Also, this cover is beautiful, like really stunning. Next, I got The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. This apparently follows Olive. Yes, Olive and Ethan, they cannot stand each other. They basically hate each other's guts, but their friends are getting married to each other, except for the fact that when it was that the entire wedding party basically has food poisoning, the only people that are not affected are Olive and Ethan, because they did not eat the food. Our best friend convinces her to go on the honeymoon, so that the honeymoon is not wasted, and Ethan's friend tells him the same. So basically they both end up traveling on their friends' honeymoons, even though they can't stand each other and they are not in a relationship, hence the honeymooners. And it just sounds beautiful and wonderful, and I can't wait to read it. Also, a lot of friends have recommended this book, like they really loved it, so I can't wait to join the bandwagon. And this will be my first Christina Lauren books. Yes, I have not read any books by them ever, so this will be my first Christina Lauren book, and I cannot wait to read it. So yay me. Next, we have The 18 Game by Sally Thorne. This basically follows 2 executive assistants to co-CEOs of a publishing company, exactly, and they hate each other. They can't stand each other. They are at each other's throats. When it is that there's a chance for a promotion for one of them, they legitimately go at it, and it just sounds very competitive, very hard-edged, and I can't wait to see how these 2 mortal enemies fall in love, because just like the fake dating contracts type relationship trope is my thing, I also really have a thing for enemies to lovers, and this book apparently covers it very well. Also, this was a lot of people's best book of 2016. I can't wait to see what the hype is about. Next, I got the collector's edition of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Like, I had to have it. It was on Book Outlet. It was at less than half its price. I think like about 1/3 of its actual price, and I was just like, I had to pick it up. So yeah, I have the collector's edition. Like, look at it. It's pretty. It has the slipcase. It's gorgeous. Look at her. Look at gold ring. Like, look at this. Isn't this pretty? It's pretty. It's pretty. It's amazing. I can't believe I have it. I can't believe I have it. Like, I have it. Then I picked up this book on Book Outlet as well. It says The Fairy Handbook. One, I have a thing for fairies. I love fae stories. Every single time they show up in books, it makes me very happy. And this just apparently it's like a compilation of sorts of different things that have to do with fae. So it says an enchanting compendium of literature, law, art, recipes, and projects. And it's an almanac. That's just basically, it's an almanac, and it's sprayed silver. It has silver sprayed edges, and two, when you open it, it's just gorgeous. Like, you have art, you have pictures, you have recipes, you have like home decor designs, it's just gorgeous. It just looks amazing, and I can't wait to. I even think they're actually like makeup, like fae makeup tips as well. Like, this is just an almanac of everything that has to do with fairy, and I can't wait to read it. So yeah. While I was at it, because I also found this, I also picked up the one for Mermaid. So yes, there's a Mermaid handbook, and a Lauren treasury of literature, law, arts, recipes, and projects. And just like with the fairy, it is sprayed like bronzy, which is gorgeous and stunning. But two, when you open it as well, you have pictures, you have art, you have law, and it's just gorgeous, and fashion, and like home decor ideas and recipes, and I'm in awe and I'm in love. I just had to have it. So yeah, perfect in my book. Both of them I got off of book outlets. And yes, I know it's been super long, but I'm almost done, I promise. Then I got a couple of classics, the first of which is The Divine Comedy by Dante. So yes, I have Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradiso. I wanted to have Dante's Divine Comedy for like forever, and now I have it. It's complete, it's big, it's gorgeous, and it comes with art by Gustave Doré. Or is it Dor or Doré? I don't know. I think it's Dor. Gustave Dor, I think. Look at it. Like, it has art. I can't like, this is just, I'm in awe. I have it. Like, I have Dante's Divine Comedy in hardcover. Like, this is a dream come true. I also picked up Virgil's Aeneid, which, for those that don't know, the Aeneid basically tells us the story of the founding of Rome. So this is translated by Robert Fitzgerald, and it's gorgeous. It's amazing. I can't wait to read it. I have wanted my copy. The only classics I read growing up were classics from my school library, and I do want to have like an entire classic shelf. That is my dream. So this is me slowly building like my library. So yay me. But anyway, this is Aeneid. This is Virgil's Aeneid, and I can't wait. Like, I have it. I can't wait to reread it, because it's been a while and I've missed it. I get so caught up in Greek mythology and Greek stories, and I just forget the Romans. So the Aeneid. I also got 2 plays by Euripides. So we have the Bacchae and other play, and we have Medea and other plays. Like, for those that don't know, Medea is bae. Like, I think my core favorite Greek goddesses and demigods, and really badasses are Circe, and this is why I really love Madeline Miller's Circe. But Circe is a fave. I love Hecate, I love Medea, I love Artemis, I love the Furies, I love Persephone. Not Persephone as the maiden of spring, but Persephone as the queen of the underworld. Like, badass Persephone, bae, love of my life, bae. So yeah, I got these 2 plays by Euripides. I've read them in bits and snatches, so I've read like individual plays, but I've not read everything in total. So this is my chance to finally do so, and I'm very excited, and I cannot wait. So yes, this is, like I said, the Bacchae and other plays by Euripides, and you have Medea and other plays by Euripides. So no 2 plays in this are the same though. So yay me. I also got the Voyage of Ill Go, which was of course written by Apollonius of Rhodes. This basically follows Jason and the Argonauts, and the search for the Golden Fleece, and this is where we first meet Medea, and this is when we realize that heroes are jackasses, and they would not keep their promises to you, and they would gaslight you until you are the crazy chick in the story. Like, that's just basically what this book is about. But but anyway, like, still yet another story I can't wait to reread. I read this once. It's been so long. I'm certain I've forgotten it. I rarely forget like the main details, but all the little bits I'm certain I've missed it, and I cannot wait to do my reread. So this is the Voyage of Ill Go, and I also finally we've gotten to the last book. I also got the Prose Edda by Snorri Sturluson. I hope I got that right, but this is the Prose Edda, and this basically is a compilation of Scandinavian and Norse mythology, and it's really small, but I've been looking forward to owning this. I want to read this before I read Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology, because I like knowing the original before I go and read like everybody's take on it and all of that. So I think I'll be able to enjoy Norse mythology more after I've read the Prose Edda. So yes, those are the books I'm hauling. I am tired, I am thirsty, your girl is dehydrated. So I need to go take lots of water and get some sleep. And yes, so those are the books I hauled recently. A lot, I know, but I'm so excited. Let me know if you had any of these books on your TBR. Let me know if any of these books are your favorite and you want me to bump it up my reading list. I technically have my TBR almost solidified all the way to I think October, but by November I'm willing to start tossing things in. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions. Let me know if you like this video. Please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos, subscribe if you want to. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I'll see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.
My strange addiction, my doctors can't explain.